I mean, sure, I'll try anything. I'm 27 years into a relationship. Girl, I gotta keep it spicy, okay? Hi, I'm Elizabeth Banks, actor, writer, director, producer, and I have a new Audible podcast, My Body, My Podcast, which is a thoughtful and funny take on all things sex. Today, I'm gonna be taking questions from curious fans. These are the voices of Audible. Before we start, let me clarify that I am by no means a medical or legal professional. These are just my thoughts and opinions.
Hi, my name is Jessica, and I wanted to ask a question around body image. So, tell me about a time in your life where you may have struggled with your own personal body image, and how did you go about overcoming those struggles?
Woo, thank you for that question, Jessica. The first episode of My Body, My Podcast actually deals with body issues and me getting over some of mine. Is there ever a time in life when you're not concerned about how you look? One of the things I try to do, like in my internal voice, just talk to myself about like today is the best you are ever going to look and the youngest you're ever gonna be. Because tomorrow, you're a day older. But I really think focusing on things that don't have anything to do with the external and everything to do with your internal life is what's most important. So am I kind? Am I curious? These are the things that I think make up my actual beauty as a person, and that's what I try to focus on.
Hi, I'm Deja. If you could remake one movie and direct it, what would it be?
There was a movie called Westward the Women back in the day, and those are the movies that I really like thinking about remaking and putting sort of more a modern spin on it, or upgrading the female characters in those movies. Westward the Women is about a group of women who took a train ride, basically were called forth and paid to go across the country during the gold rush because all these men were on the West Coast and there were no women there. So the men were going crazy and they couldn't actually settle the land because they didn't have families. And it was all about, well, we need to find them some brides. And so they brought all these women. I'd love to tell the story of those women. Ooh, the next few questions were submitted anonymously.
So I grew up with a lot of shame around sex, and I want to make sure my two kids, now 7 and 10, don't feel that way. So how young is too young to start those talks?
Oh, that's such a great question. I talk a lot about this on the podcast. Here's the thing, it's never too young. So little kids especially, they learn so much about the natural world around them just from observations. So you're often answering those questions at a very young age. And I find that using the actual words for body parts, that's number one. Just tell them their body parts, tell them young, the earlier the better. Use all the words, take away their power, take away the power of shame that they can carry with them.
I want our daughter to be able to come to us with questions around birth control and abortion, but I don't know how to set the table for those conversations. She's currently 12 years old.
Well, first of all, you wanting her to come to you and talk to you about it is a great first step. I think just saying that out loud to your daughter who's 12 years old is a perfect place to start. Hey, daughter who's 12 years old, I want you to feel comfortable coming to me, talking to me about birth control and abortion. Period, the end. You can start right there. The other thing is you've got to make sure that your daughter is willing to come to you about other things too. I like to tell my kids, you know, there's nothing you can do that will make me not love you. There's no phone call you can make to me that I won't jump up and come and get you. So I think it has to, you know, you've got to make it holistic about their whole life. Can't just be about sex. Sex is part of everybody's entire spectrum of like a full and happy and joyful life. And so make those conversations about that. I want you to be safe. That's what I tell my kids, right? I want you to feel safe. And the other thing I'll say is listen more, talk less. You don't need to have all the answers. Start tomorrow or today. Start right now, the minute you hear this advice.
Hey, Elizabeth, longtime fan. Going all the way back to Wet Hot American Summer, Spider-Man, even the Baxter. I was just curious, what was the initial catalyst or the moment that made you say, I'm ready to direct?
Oh, thank you for that question and for being a fan. The Baxter, that takes me back. I loved that movie. You know, I directed plays in college. I studied directing way back, and then I just sort of became an actor and was doing fine as an actor and kind of focused on that for a long time. The thing that maybe, so I've always had seed of like wanting to direct and tell stories more holistically in that way and not just play the actor's part. But really what it came down to was just being more in control of my time. To me, that is success. It's being able to control how you spend your time, what you do with it. In short, I just felt like Hollywood wasn't using me as effectively as I felt I could be used. And I was this was my job. These were the people I knew. This is what I had committed myself to. And so I really just looked around and thought, like, how do I make the most out of this or make more out of this for the next, 10, 20, 30 years?
Hi, Elizabeth. I'm Christina Reed, a big-time fan from New York City. And I've always wondered, who's been the favorite person that you've ever shared an on-screen kiss with?
People love to ask this question. And of course, I never tell. I'll go with my first on-screen kiss was in Wet Hot American Summer with Paul Rudd. So let's just go with that one, because then I kissed him again in like 2 other movies. So Paul, my buddy.
I would just like to know if you have or would you ever try a sex swing?
Deja, are you a sex swing manufacturer? Are you trying to get a commercial onto this thing? I'm very impressed if that's true. Are you asking for you, or are you asking because you're just curious about me, or what's going on? I'm so interested. Would I ever try a sex swing? I mean, sure, I'll try anything. Yeah, send one my way.
I'm a parent, and I don't know how to handle boundaries about self-exploration in my teenage daughter. I want to be encouraging, but being a mom and talking to my kids about masturbation seems a little bit strange. Thank you.
You're saying the words and you're saying them out loud. You just said them to me, so I know you're capable of saying them, and I know you're capable of saying them. And it starts with that. It starts with, you don't have to even use the word masturbation, but I think you have to acknowledge your daughter's full sense of herself and her sexuality, and you have to keep it shame-free in your house. In most people's lives, there's already private time, private places. You like your private time. Making that the dialogue about how you like to have your privacy, and you want your daughter to feel comfortable with her privacy, and that there are certain things that she should explore on her own. The other thing I'll say is, remember that this is part of her learning. It's a seed that will grow into something amazing for her across her entire life. And I think recognizing that is also just a really beautiful thing. It's a beautiful gift to give to your daughter. And again, just keep these conversations straightforward, shame-free. I think that's a great way to start.
Do you have any advice for young women who are trying to figure out their lives in a post-pandemic world?
I think that the pandemic really clarified for people what their priorities are, what they care about in life. There's kind of this fake advice out there like, live your dreams, like do what you love. Not everybody gets to do that. What I would say is figure out what matters to you. I really think visualizing the thing that means the most to you and then putting it almost like in a pyramid of your life. Like, this is the thing that I care about the most. And it's not always easy to know. So then have a next layer that's like, here's a few things that I care about. And then here's the things that I care less about. You can start that at any time, and then you can start figuring out how to get closer to the thing that means the most to you. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out My Body, My Podcast, available on Audible July 29th. And subscribe, to this channel for more great videos. I think the button's down here, that's why I did that.